Every business has an ambition. PayPal Open is the platform designed to help you grow into yours. With business loans so you can expand and access to hundreds of millions of PayPal customers worldwide. And your customers can pay all the ways they want with PayPal, Venmo, Pay Later, and all major cards, so you can focus on scaling up. When it's time to get growing, there's one platform for all business. PayPal Open. Grow today at paypalopen.com. Loans subject to approval in available locations.
I thank you very much for tuning in to That Will Never Work podcast. So, what if marketing wasn't about shouting, screaming at your audience, but about creating experiences people want to talk about? So today, I have the sensational Saffana, and she's going to break down how to turn your social media into a place of connection, community, and real brand growth. We'll talk about it right after this.
Educate, empower, enable, impact. Thank you for tuning in to That Will Never Work, an award-winning podcast where we share inspiring information and personal experiences related to business and the entrepreneurial journey from those who are leaders in their respective field. Now, here's your host, author and business coach, Maurice.
So we're going to jump right into it. Of course, you can read her bio in the link that I provided in the show notes. You can look at all her other content, all the fabulous podcasts she's already been on. So I know a lot about this young lady right here. But what we're going to talk about, Saffana, if you can answer this question. In a world of constant content, how do you stand out? But by showing more or by showing more meaningfully? So am I posting more or should I show up more meaningfully for my content? For my audience?
I think that's a really good question. The answer is not hard and fast, but I want to say it's not your quantity will never win if it's not rooted in earnestness. That's the biggest takeaway I've seen. And that's the trend that we're moving towards. So if you think about all social media as like a variety of house parties that are always ongoing, right? If you kind of think about it like that, different house parties, different vibes. And there's like different corners of places having different conversations. Some of them are about gaming. Some of them are about like how to cook the best meal for your family. Some of them are about whatever the people are interested in, you're going to kind of find your gang. But the people that, let's say, if we're dominating or being present in that conversation and standing out, quote unquote, in that house party, they're never going to be the loudest. They're just going to be the people that the people can connect to the most. They're not going to be the people who are like shouting over everyone. They're not like I will hear you,
right,
but I will not necessarily connect with you. So the moment I think we start humanizing that experience a little bit more of like what it's like to actually scroll through your phone, that's what people are moving towards. Is like, if I met you, could I be your friend? And if you look at people's comments who post a lot or maybe who don't post that much, you'll see people's comments now going towards more that of like, I'd love to be your friend. And this is fantastic. And those are the people that are winning. Those are the brands, quote unquote, or the accounts that are growing the most. The ones that are just kind of being the most sincere, and being like, this is what I've got. This is what I've got in the house party. I'm here for a little bit, so I'm going to have fun, and I hope this resonates. I hope that's helpful.
It is, but, it's funny that you call it a house party because there are some people that likes to just stand up against the wall and watch, right?
Correct.
And then there are some that wants to be the life of the party and want to show out in front of everybody. So how do you differentiate the two? Because sometimes people could be too passive by standing up against the wall, but way too aggressive by, hey, I want to be the life of the party. I want to dance in the middle of everybody. I want to dance battle, whoever is the next challenger, all that type of stuff. So how do I know how to stay neutral and still touch everybody that's in that party?
I think the first question you have to ask is, why do you want to touch everyone in that party? That's the first question I'd ask you as a human. Is like, is it worth it for you? If it's really worth it, then yeah, get up on a table and dance. Like if that's honestly what you're into, but know that that's a divisive move. Like if that's what you're into, right? If like you're Apple or whatever, that may be the move. But most of us are not a brand. We're like a human. We are a human. So even if you have something you want to sell, sometimes it's really worth understanding who it is you want to talk to and going into your truth. The one thing that is like the fail safe that I've never seen change due to trends, due to technology, is to the truth that is you, and then understanding how that is helpful or beneficial for the audience. Not for you necessarily, but you'll root it in your truth, but just in your audience. Like, what can I actually add value into your lives? And it may just be that you're funny and lots of people will flock towards you. It may be that you bake the best cakes and people flock to. Like, there's loads of ways to be sincerely yourself and create the impact you want in reality that won't take away from, I guess, the earnestness of the human experience. I feel like that bit's the bit that's like not spoken about. Like, yeah, we can build brand. Yeah, we can, yeah, we can like shout the loudest. But if that's not you, I don't want to. That's why that whole thing of like you said in the very beginning of like, what does it take for marketing to not be like the rah-rah, the circus?
Right.
And the truth is lean back into your humanity, because that's what we're gonna want to flock towards. That's the way I'm seeing it, and that's the way I've seen it work for most of my clients, brands that I've worked with, etc. Lean into your truth, and if it is dancing on the table, dance on the table, baby. But if it's not, like, get off the table and start telling people about what it's like to be a mum of four. Like, just, you know what I mean? And you could be both. You could be both, but just do the thing that is most honest for you.
But see, I know someone like myself. I'm not a dance on the table type person. I can go and talk to person though, introduce myself, things like that. Sometimes I see those individuals that are dancing on the table might be trying to overcompensate for something else. They're lacking something else, whether it's some type of substance. Do I really understand my product, right? As a business owner, do I really have something to offer? What is my selling point? Whatever it is, so how do we understand ourselves in a genuine sense that you keep referring to? How do I make sure that I'm genuine in those dealings or my business or whatever it might be?
From a human sense, because these two things are going to overlap, but from a human sense, I feel like we've all gone to parties where we've gone, I shouldn't have done that. Or I didn't like the way that I acted. Even if go a lot, you know what I mean? Really, really and truly, like within ourselves, we were like, oh, I wasn't a fan of the way I conducted myself. That's the human element.
Right.
In business, it's the same. So in business and with brands that I've worked with, they will sometimes put something out that is on trend on whatever, and then they reflect and be like, that really wasn't on brand. Like and the way that manifests in numbers and in whatever is like, yeah, we got views, but we absolutely did not get click-throughs. We did not get conversions. Everyone who converted asked for a refund. And all of that stuff will have to make you reflect on the way that you presented yourself as a brand, the way that you showed up in the world, right? So it's both of those two things are the same. It's like, maybe you made a friend that night, but it wasn't a friend you needed. Like, it wasn't a friend that's gonna have your back. It was just kind of someone who thought that was you. When that was because that was the foot you put forward.
Right.
But in the other instance is like, you say, what is it that I genuinely have that I can provide that other people maybe don't do as well as me? And a lot of the time that's going into your truth. So on a human scale, that's what that is. If I was to give you a really good example of like one of a recent client that I worked with was actually like an NGO/charity. And when I was speaking to them, they were like, what we do is we try and improve the lives of kids from what they called underprivileged backgrounds. I was like, fabulous. And they're like, but we never say kids from underprivileged backgrounds. We say we want to challenge kids to be the best that they can be. And I said, fabulous. And then the more we spoke, the more they were like, yeah, but we only work in our borough. And sometimes we're embarrassed to say we only work in this borough. And I said, okay, well, what's the repercussions of holding that truth back? They're like, sometimes people from other boroughs come. And I'm like, do you want that? And then they're like, not necessarily, because we really believe that if we help our borough can help other boroughs, and then they can help themselves. To which I said, there's honestly going to be fabulous repercussions if you specify now, because you'll grow faster, you'll exclude faster, and then therefore your template will be able to be followed by other boroughs. That's exactly what happened.
Hmm.
Just say the whole truth. Like, say the truth as it is. A lot of the times, that's what's gonna get you the exact people you need. So sometimes the thing that you're hiding, or you perceive that hiding will get you a good thing out of it,
Mhm.
sometimes that is the exact thing you need to unlock your fastest way to success. And a lot of the times, that's the most honest thing.
Hmm. And so, as I'm listening to you, there's a few things that come to mind. So sometimes we need to
Mm.
implement an A/B testing space, right? Where we're trying to look at maybe if we did this type of marketing here versus this type of marketing there, so we can understand which one
Mm.
can bring in the type of clients that we're looking for. Because sometimes we don't know exactly where they might be hiding, right? And so, how important would it be
Yeah.
for us to
Yeah.
implement that type of testing just to kind of get outside of our box for a hot second?
I think it's very important, but I have to point out that that's an incremental win rather
Mhm.
than a major win. So depending on where you are in the journey, it could be just you, because I think when we say A/B testing, it's for people who are quite mature in their approach to things,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
the people who we're speaking to, we're the ones who are like, those are the ones who are saying, I've got a good base,
Mhm.
but actually my suspicion is I would get more, I would get marginal benefit out
Mhm.
of being here versus where I am now. Then I would say your best bet is an A/B test, because what you don't want to do is you want to lose out on what you've got now. So
Mhm.
what you've got is working, your A/B test is the best bet, right? And then what if your B is the one that's going to outdo your A, of course you iterate. But I think I want to say just two things about A/B testing, which if you see me on any podcast, I will always say, listen to your A/B tests or
Mm.
don't do them. Like, I've seen so many people just do A/B tests for the sake of doing A/B tests. Like,
Right.
if the B wins, use the B and then optimize the B. Don't keep doing the same or doing a variety. Like, it's a real scientific experiment. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
sometimes I think I'm like, why did you do that? Just anyways. But yeah, listen to the AB. Please just listen to the science if you're going to go down the science route. But yeah, if you want incremental wins, AB, mwah, like fabulous. Say, I suspect this, I suspect that, but have a
Mhm.
really, really good understanding, basic understanding of your audience first. I'm always for audience first. Audience answerness. What's the Venn diagram? Where does your audience and your organization live? That perfect Venn diagram.
Mhm.
Once you've got that, that's where you can begin with the playground of editing and tweaking, etc. But before that, I wouldn't recommend.
And so, and I brought that up because you hear a lot of that right now about testing and just trying some things. Um, but, and I brought that up because sometimes we're not always honest about who our real audience is because we don't have that true feedback loop. We don't understand how important that really is. So how do we ensure that we are getting to the people that we really need to, especially those that we really want to help, especially if we don't understand what that loop really is?
Yeah, that is such a good question, Maurice. It's such a good question because I feel like if people asked it more, we would have just a better universe. There's so many ways to get to know your audience, and the first one is just like speak to them. That's the first thing. Like, if someone is a customer, if someone buys your stuff, if someone listens to your stuff, just speak to them.
Mm-hmm.
Just be like, what is it that you want to, what value did that add? Did you like this? I'm thinking of doing this. Would that add value? And like, the more you do that, don't take one person's word for it, but the more you do that, the more you understand who is in the room that you are currently speaking in, or that you found. So first and foremost, go to the source.
Mm-hmm.
Always go to the source if you can. If you haven't been able to go to the source yet, look at what your competitors are doing and who's in their rooms. And the way that you could do that is, let's say you have this podcast, you know that other people listen to a similar podcast. Go into those comments of those YouTube videos and just be like, what are they talking about? What do they like? What are the things that they highlighted from that thing? How can I add value and speak to those concerns?
Mm-hmm.
There's this really fabulous method that people use to write copy and to create a product, like reverse engineer product market fit. And it is, if you figure out who the kind of audience is that you want to serve, imagine that you are them and then write down all the concerns that they would have. If you can't speak to them directly, this is an imagination project, right? Where you go, I want to service people who are starting a small business. I don't know how to start a small business. I don't know if I should leave my job. I don't know how I would do a side hustle and all of this. And then you just kind of create to leave your company without losing your money, how to, and then you kind of reverse engineer it so that you are speaking to their concerns. And the more you do that, the more fruitful I think you will find every interaction, if that's the kind of way that you want to show up in the universe. Again,
So,
audience first.
I understand that's audience first,
Mm.
but your answer was so simplistic that a lot of us, it might be too simple of just talking to the audience.
I don't know what you want from me then. Simple it wins. Simple wins. I listen. So I'm Middle Eastern, and there's this thing that they say in the Middle East of like sometimes you'll ask people where their ear is, and they will say here, and you're like, baby, you could have just said this. Like so yes, simple. Then I dare you to do it, and then talk to me.
Again, Saffana. And I'm saying it because sometimes we look at other people, right? And we want, like you said, look at our competitors or whatever else, and we think that they have a team of 35 people, right? Trying to, create this environment. And you're just using something as simple as, hey, Saffana, how were you today? Did you like the content that I provided?
Yeah. So if we're looking at that, okay, so then again, I would say if we're going to, I'm going to draw from the thing I said in the beginning. Your main strength is what you have to offer right now, your honest truth. So this person who's got 35 people on the ground doing things, whatever it is that we imagine that they have at their disposal, they likely started where you started. But the huge superpower you have is that you don't have such a big audience that you're lost and you need to cater to hundreds of thousands. You have 20 people who are engaged and you're trying to find 20 more. Your best bet is to speak to those people. And then if those people like you, they will tell more people about you, especially if you ask them. So, and I'm saying this out of like, I've done this. So I'm not speaking rubbish. I'm telling you, this is the stuff that works. The superpower we have when we're small is that we can speak to our people in a much more sincere way, where we say, listen, man, I'm just doing this because I think this will be helpful. If I were you, I would find this very helpful. And if it's not helpful, this is your role to tell me, because I have the capacity right now to read what you're about to say and then act on it. The 35 plus employee person doesn't have that luxury. So if you want to leverage that, this is the way you would leverage that to get your growth faster. If that does not convince you, then here is the other way to do it. You're going to get 20 people in a room. You're going to think, no, I want 50,000. And then you're going to look at the person who's doing generic content, and then you're going to stab in the dark, and these 20 people are going to lose interest because that's not what got them there in the first place. So you're going to be doing, but maybe this content, maybe. And your best bet is going to be to start with this and find more of these people. SaaS products do this, and so do content creators. It's the same thing. Once you find good product market fit, what you want to do is you want to get others into this. You want to find more of this because that's your core audience, and then you can fan out. But unless you've dominated that niche, it's a strange many things you're trying to pick up and then tailor to, which is very messy. It's also not earnest, and you're also not. You won't do, I think, what you think you'll do.
So again, you're making it too simple, Saffana. I mean, you and I'm saying this because you're recommending that I stay the same throughout the whole process. Don't change, because a lot, again, when we look at social media, we're influenced, right? We see what they're doing. We see what our competitors doing. We may take a real quick look at their numbers and say, oh, wow, they're doing 30,000 downloads a month because that's where I want my podcast to be. But I'm only doing 50. So how do I grow into that because of who I think that's giving out the same type of content? I want 30. I want the sponsorships. I want all these type of things. So is my 50 people just as important as those 30,000? And how do I stay myself in that space, especially if I'm looking to the hills? I'm looking at what my sky could possibly be.
I would say this. Very practically, if we're going to go like, okay, if we want to do some hard work, the people who've currently got 30,000 downloads, I would say go back to their content when they only had 50 downloads. Go back to their content and see what they did. And if, Maurice, you're going to tell me that they actually did a crazy amount of wild stuff, all different, and then all of a sudden there was a spike, then I would say follow that template if that's what you want. But my bet, my hunch is what you're going to find is a steady increase over time, and then that exponential growth. But that steady increase came with the almost boring, monotonous, I'm going to do this thing for this audience until I get critical mass, because that's how it grows. It doesn't go like this necessarily. It'll go like this, and then boom, it will take off at one point, right? Because that's the compounding effect of socials. So you have to do what you're. This is also, by the way. So I want to say two things. First of all, I think you just have to ensure that your product is good, because if it's not good, no one's going to come. Even if 20 people come, they're going to churn, and they're not going to. So make sure your product is actually good. Like the value that you're providing, you smash it out the park every time. Here's my value statement. It's the same as you predicted, because there's this nice reassurance of like, what you want from me is what I'm going to deliver every time. It's the same time, same place, and I'm going to give you the same amount of fantastic quality every time, so that you're going to want to turn up next time. Otherwise, you're going to be dealing with churn, which is not what we want to deal with. So first and foremost, you want to do that. Second of all, this is, I think, the third or fourth time, Maurice, you've mentioned when you look at other people.
Right.
If we're going to be doing shiny object syndrome, which is what that is, you won't win. I'm going to make it very simple. You won't win.
Right.
There's never going to be an object so dull, no matter how much you're shining. There's never going to be an object that's not dull to you. So you either are content with what it is you're doing and happy that the route that you're enjoying the journey of going, okay, fabulous, we're going to get to this thing, or you're going to be doing shiny object syndrome of like, maybe I'll try this, maybe I'll try that, maybe I'll try. And if you do that, you won't. I don't believe someone's done that and succeeded. Not in the brick and mortar, not in the SaaS, not in the product, not in the service, not even in sport. There's not going to be a guy who was like, I tried basketball, then football, and then when I did one term of ice hockey, I was a champion. Like, it's not, that's not going to be the way it goes. It's going to be like, I did hockey for 15 years.
Right.
And now I'm in the championships. Like, that's a lot of the times that's the way it's going to go.
And I'm going to tell you the reason why I keep bringing it up, because a lot of my listeners are in that space where they're so caught up with everybody else is doing. But my underlining message is, be happy with what you see in the mirror, right? You know, understand who that person is. When you look back in that mirror, it's like, all right, yeah, I might have a little frown lines and, you know, maybe some, lines on my forehead because I'm, upset or whatever it is. But still understand that, hey, who I am in that mirror, I'm proud of. And that even though if I have those 50 people, we're cultivating a community.
Yeah, that's 50 people.
You know,
50 people is no small feat.
Right.
I definitely agree with the don't compare thing. I think of joy. I think that's what they say, huh? And it's not just the thief of joy. Sometimes it's the thief of just like self-assurance. And so if you're going to be doing the game where you're comparing yourself a lot, I think genuinely just be prepared to lose. And lose a lot more than you think. And I say this as honestly and earnestly as I can. I think one of the most poisonous things you could do, and people blame social media, but we compared before.
Right.
Like social media is just that, like on steroids.
Right.
It's not for those who want joy in this world. Anyways, I don't think comparison is for those who want joy in this world. Honestly, I'm being honest. Like, I just, like, if you do want to compare, then compare. But I'm telling you now, it's not going to be the way that you're going to grow.
Wow. So, Saffana, I mean, we can go on for about another 2 hours on this, to be honest, right? So, but I would like to know, where can people talk to you and get a little bit more confident in who they are and what they provide, no matter what audience that they already have, how to cultivate them, how to nourish them, how to mature it, grow it. So where can they find out more information and talk to you about this?
You can always find me on my website. So if you contact me via my website, which is just my name, Saffana, SAFFANA.co.uk. Because I'm me. I'm also the only Saffana Monajed in the world. So it's I always say, if you don't find me, it's on purpose. And you can always reach out to me. So whether that's like through professional work, so mostly what I do is I help NGOs, which are non-government organizations, specifically charities, a lot of the time, to get really clear on how it is they help, so that they can help more people. That's something I'm always really, really big on. But I do help scale ups and startups. So if you want to do that, if you always want to figure out your audience and perfect your copy so that it's really like going to speak to your truth and the truth of others, and resonate well, always reach out to me on saffana.co.uk. If you want to learn how to do that completely for free, just find me on TikTok, and I just tell people how to write copy and how to read media and advertising, so that they're very aware of the powers that be and how they're eluding us to kind of try and find temporary joy and relief in places that it never will exist.
So, again, Saffana, simplicity, right? You said I'm the one and only, and find me just by my name. So, and I think that's something that we need to keep in mind, that we are a one and only. We don't have to be duplicated. We don't have to copy somebody else. Just stand in who we are. So I appreciate you showing that and it being a real life example of that, to be honest.
Thanks, Maurice. This is all I've got. So if you don't like it, I'm sorry.
But before we go, I got one more question though, Saffana, and I'm pretty sure you're going to knock this question out the park. It's my would you rather question, and I ask it to everybody. Would you rather choose 3 doors or a fork in the road? Now, use your imagination.
Hold on. 3 doors or a fork in the road?
Yes.
3 doors, you mean hypothetical doors that open up to unknown situations and I just have to pick one?
Whatever your imagination comes up with.
A fork in the road means I'm there and then I can go left or right?
You can fly it. Use your imagination. There is no box.
In the road. I'm gonna go fork in the road.
And why the fork?
I'm gonna do fork. Yeah, I'm gonna fork in the road.
And why would you do a fork in the road?
I'm a runner, and that's the thing I'm mostly faced with, and I'm trying to perfect being so happy with whatever place I've picked. So that's the way I do it.
So we're going to piggyback off of that. Did you ever run on your birthday?
That's so good. Maurice, you've been doing your research. Yeah, I'm going to run 33 miles for my next birthday.
Nice.
Yeah.
I told you I did. I listened.
You really did. That's phenomenal amounts of research. No, that's phenomenal. That's really good. Yeah, I'm gonna run 33 miles for my next birthday, one for every year, and it's gonna be painful and it's gonna be glorious.
Good. I mean, we all got to push ourselves, right? We all have to look for the next challenge or whatever it is. We're always evolving, even in its simplest form.
Absolutely. And in the words of my friend, doing hard things makes me build self-confidence, and it assures me that hard things are within my reach.
Wow. There's nothing else to say after that, Saffana. I mean, that's a mic drop. Bloop. Well, I thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me, Maurice. It's been a pleasure.
Sure, no problem. And of course, all of Saffana's information will be in the show notes, and I will talk to you just a little bit later.
Thanks for listening. Follow Maurice Chisholm on social media to stay connected and check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, that will never work. Or will it?
Every business has an ambition. PayPal Open is the platform designed to help you grow into yours. With business loans so you can expand and access to hundreds of millions of PayPal customers worldwide. And your customers can pay all the ways they want with PayPal, Venmo, Pay Later, and all major cards, so you can focus on scaling up. When it's time to get growing, there's one platform for all business. PayPal Open. Grow today at paypalopen.com. Loans subject to approval in available locations.